May the grace of the Lord be with you all. Dear brothers and sisters, this morning I will share with you Peter chapter 1, verse 6, which says, "So be truly glad. There is a wonderful joy ahead. Even though you have to endure many trials for a little while." You see, brothers and sisters, the Bible tells us to endure. As a child of God, I know and I understand that it is difficult for each of us, for me and for you, to endure. But I would like to tell you that have patience, have faith and hope that it shall be well with you. If you believe in God, you are His child. No matter what you go through, no matter what you find yourself into, you must have those keys. They all go together. And I want to tell you that there is no shortcut in God's blessings. You have to be patient. You have to wait in God's time. For the joy of waiting and hope is wonderful. And I tell you today that I have endured many, and I'm still enduring some. But I trust in God, and I'm waiting patiently until they come to pass, because it is a promise that God will never abandon you nor forsake you. And so we have to trust in Him. As I shared a little bit about my true story and the testimony with you last week, and so I would like to continue from where I stopped. As I said last time about my stepmom and my dad, I tell you that even though I was going through hardship at the time, I had great love for them. And to the extent where my dad threw me out, and that time he threw me out, I was not well. I had pain in my stomach that I'd lived with it for 2 years. Until then, when he kicked me out, I went to one of my auntie that took me in, and I stayed with her, and I had to tell her my challenge of what I was going through. But she never understood the pain I was talking about. And so at the time, my dad gave me school fees, and I had to visit the doctor. So I kept this money, and I did not go to school. So when I visited this doctor, the doctor told me the pain I'm going through is appendicitis. It needs operation. And so, you see, I told the doctor, I've got the money. And he said, well, I cannot operate you, but I can communicate to someone who can help you. And so he did. And I went there, and his friend gave me an appointment for my operation date. And you see, because at home at my auntie, of course. I was doing each and every chores in the house. That day, I remember I cooked, I bathed the children, I made sure everything is sorted in the house. And so I say to the children, when your mom comes back, tell her I'm in the hospital. Luckily enough, the hospital was not far from her house. It was only 3 minutes. And so I went. When I got there, the doctor said, we were waiting for you. We're ready. And so I said, I'm ready too. But when we got in the theater, I had the fear. And in my heart, I felt so alone. And I asked the doctor, can I pray? And he said, yes, you can. So I prayed. And in my mind, in my heart, was thinking, I have families, but here I am all alone. No one is with me. But I felt comfort, and I did not understand. I was so strong, and that was all I remember that time until the operation was done and my auntie came. And so, you see, God is wonderful. So they took me home to wake up from her house. And I woke up, and the doctor told her had left with 2 days to die. And when the doctor came to check on me, he looked at me and said, you had left with 2 days to live. God is with you. And he was a believer too. And so you see, I want you to take my experience, use it, and teach your children. And when you say things towards your children, say positive things, because negative things, no, it's not good for your children, for their future. And whatever you say to them, it's part of their life. And so I tell you, I felt I was rejected, and that rejection stayed with me till today. But because God is with me, he has been conquering my challenges for me. So trust in God with all your heart and your soul. He will never let you down, because he is mighty. Have faith. Trust in God with all your heart. Like my video, share and subscribe. Amen.